give a fuck.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. So today I want to talk about body hair. Honestly, I just decided that just now. I was gonna talk about something else, but that'll be in another video. So let's get started. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this is one of my favorite topics because people know so little, but they think they know so much about body hair. And one, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you don't have your big girl panties or your big boy pants on, please exit the video. Please, because I really don't have time for this. I really don't. It's always gonna happen. Unless you get laser hair removal or you just don't have the genes to, you know, grow. It's gonna be there. And if you want to be mad about it, well, I just think there are more important things in life. There are bigger problems at hand. For a long time, I'll actually start back to when I first remember really being conscious of body hair, because I never even thought about it. Like, it was kind of an afterthought. But then, like, I started to just notice that other girls didn't have it, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, am I a mutant? Like, why do I have body hair and nobody else does? Like, you know. And it wasn't even like a lot, but it was enough that it was noticeable, and I just noticed that nobody else had it, and it made me feel like that, like I was sticking out. Basically in school around other girls, but even as young as, you know, just sleepovers and your friends just being like, what's that, or something like that, and it's like, okay, well, you don't have it either, and it's like, no, because some people just don't develop as fast. Like, I'll say I was a pretty early bloomer. Like, my boobs started to come in pretty soon, body hair as well, and I mean, I just chalked it up as, okay, well, my dad's side of the family, they had bigger breasts, so that's probably why. But at the same time, it's like, I just wanted to be a kid. Like, I didn't want to be sexualized or even think about them. But, you know, that was really when I first started to notice, because I didn't have social media until a long time after, because my mom wasn't okay with me having social media, which I completely get why now. Like, I do that, I do. But on social media, or again in society, it's not seen as a norm. Like, if you see a model, they never have hair unless that's literally what they're promoting, which is very rare. But it's like, it's just this unspoken thing that women are just expected not to have. But of course it's okay for men to have it, right? Right, Scribbles? Right? No, it's not. We both have nipples, we both have body hair. I don't know why they're so special and get to just have those things out, but no, it's not fair. Anyway, I did not hear about people being okay with their body hair until more recent years. Now, mind you, in the Matrix terms, I'm a 20-year-old, but in my heart, I don't have an age. I don't age because that is a disease. But I didn't really feel like there was a place where I could feel safe with having it, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if you're going to the beach or the pool, you're scrambling to try and find a way to either have shorts or to cut all of it off so nobody knows that you're a human and you grow body hair. Like, nobody should have to feel like that. Nobody should have to have that type of anxiety just because of what other people are going to say or think or whatever. But eventually I started to get into spirituality, and spirituality I feel like is not even just so general how people try to make it seem. Like, I think everything, literally everything, is included in spirituality. Even things such as your body hair. It's very inclusive. It's important. Because everything is spiritual. Everything is energy. These things on my head are antennas. It perceives my environment. Like, for example, cats, scribbles, cats, they have whiskers, which help them to tell if they can fit through a certain space or not. Like, antennas, basically just trying to let you know your environment. Another example of this is like, if someone scares you and then the hairs on your arm stand up, it's reacting to your environment. Does that make sense? Like, basically our hairs are here to be our extra sense. I feel like that makes sense. Hi, baby. Say hi, everyone. Hi. He's my son. So anyway, I started to basically feel more comfortable with keeping body hair, but at the same time, I basically just had to unlearn some things, which the first thing I would say I had to unlearn was caring what people think. A lot of people like to say they don't care what people think, which even in some senses, I still do care what certain people think. But it's very specific. Like, people that have been in my life for a long time, and even some of those people, I still don't care. Like, it's funny. Like, basically just the people that are my constants, that care about me constantly and I care about them constantly, I care for them and I care about their opinions and their, stuff like that. But generally, like, if I have a bonnet on and I have to go to, I don't know, ShopRite, I don't know, like, whatever I need to do, I'm not gonna be thinking like, oh my god, I hope nobody's looking at my bonnet. Like, who cares? Most people don't even have an inch of hair to put a bonnet on. So literally, it's just not that deep to care what people think, like, honestly. But that is a big aspect of actually starting to just let your body do what it does. Stop caring what people think. Like, it's really just that simple. But some people are overthinkers, and I was, and still sometimes can be, an overthinker. But you'll feel freer when you stop caring what people think. 2, fall in love with yourself. Like, honestly, for a while I've known that I am an attractive person. Now, of course, I have my days where I don't feel like it, but I love myself. I love my body. I tell myself I'm beautiful. I'm kind. I uplift myself and reinforce those feelings. And also, I feel like me saying it to myself consistently helps me to view myself in that light as well. But I just feel like I just thought of what the thumbnail was gonna be. But yeah, I just feel like once you start to really love yourself and your body, anybody won't touch you. I just feel like when somebody's confident, no matter what, it's just people see it and they want it. Like, there's this one girl that I saw on TikTok. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm a hairy person in certain places, but not so much in other places. Like, under my arms, I'm kind of hairy, but it's like I've definitely seen bigger things of hair under people's arms. But then when you look at my actual arm, Like, you can't even see the hair because it's like peach fuzz, but it's there. Yeah, I see a little one. But yeah, like, you know, she basically had a thicker amount of hair, visibly like noticeable on her legs and like near her crotch area, which it really does my heart good when I see somebody embracing their body hair, because literally it is so rare. Because people will be like, oh my gosh, embrace your body hair. And the next thing you know, their next video, they don't have any hair under their arms. It's like, okay, thanks for the confidence for 2 seconds. Like, no, I need this to be a lifestyle. I mean, you can shave your hair every now and again, but know what you're doing when you do it. That's Nobody knows what they're doing when they're cutting off their body hair. They just do it because society says that's sexy. But do you know who doesn't have hair? Children. Yeah. Have you seen anybody else that just doesn't grow hair and is a full-grown adult unless it was in their genetics? Or they burnt that part of their body? I'm all ears. Do you know Watachi? He don't know either. Because it's children. Children are the main people that don't grow body hair. Why is that? Because they haven't hit puberty yet. So it's not even supposed to be existing. Like, that hormone isn't ready yet. But when it is, that means you're stepping into your puberty, your womanhood, your manhood, you're stepping into it. And I feel like when people shave that, or more specifically women, they are trying to be something that they are not. Now, I know some people are probably going to get offended when I say this, but it's truth. You're literally trying to make yourself look like a child. Women have hair, just like men. Men have hair, women have hair. It is normal. It is not disgusting. It is not, like, it's none of that, because men literally do it too, and men are more disgusting than women are. In all cases, they just don't value the same things we do, period. Like, of course, there's some disgusting people out there on both sides, but women, we just have to take care of ourselves better, because we actually have something that will literally tell us if something is wrong. So I state my point. Like, so like a lot of women will try and say like, oh, I do it for myself, I like to do it this way, and that's fine, that's great. But again, do you know what you're actually doing? Because I can speak from experience, the razor burns were not worth it. Honestly, it made things like let me be clear. Nothing is wrong, but I'm just saying razor burns make your shaving or your wax or whatever look worse than it did before. Because, I don't know. Like, now that I'm just used to body hair, I feel like things look weird without it. So, let me put into terms for you. What is sexy? Like, what would you define as sexy? Because I just feel like it's so westernized. Like, it's so oh my gosh, it's just not targeted towards us as much. Now let me explain. Now, I know, and a lot of people know, that melanated beings are beautiful, period, no matter what color they are. And that's another thing. Technically, everybody has melanin, but basically I'm talking about the people with more melanin in their skin. We know you're beautiful. But are we mainstreamed? as much. Like, no, it just happens just for diversity. But I don't feel like they mean it, if that makes sense, because they'll do things like force beautiful black women to shave their hair in order to either fit a role or just for a shoot or just for that to be their thing as a celebrity. And it's like, they could have done without that. Like, some people just don't look right bald. And that's just fact. It's okay. But, I just feel like shaving a woman's head for their career is just cruel. Now, some people might say, oh, well, they wanted to do it or it's easier. Every decision that a celebrity makes is not really them just saying, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. Things are determined for them, and then they may have a little wiggle room, but for the most part, they don't get to choose what they're doing. So, especially if they're like basically about to be a figure for everybody. Like people like The Little Mermaid more recently, or Zendaya, or China and McClain, or Shuri from Wakanda. Like, I feel like these women have really big roles in our young women's lives, but it's like they have to be a certain image. Even if they do have a piece in it, it's still like something's lacking. But okay, I just recorded this whole thing, and it was turned around. So here we are again, redoing this. But yeah, this is a different day actually. So yeah, that's why I have on different clothes. But let's get back into this. So why should you keep your body hair? Well, there's many different reasons, but the main ones I say are the fact that one, it's an extension of your nervous system, and your nerves and your vein, all that stuff is really how we feel things. So, for example, my mom, she actually has a lot of nerve damage on her left side, and it causes her to not feel like sometimes in this part of her arm, in these two fingers, sometimes she can't feel those things. And that's because the nerve damage is actually that severe. So your nerves are very important. Honestly, everybody should be taking care of their nerves and their thyroid. Those are very neglected things. But yes, they're very important. And with the hair being an extension of your nervous system, I think it's important to keep those like intact and also take care of them. Like, I don't just leave my body hair just to be. Like, I put oil on it, usually vitamin E oil. I've used different oils, but at the moment the one I'm using is vitamin E oil. And I feel like my hair likes it. And also, just for my natural hair at the moment, I've been using rose water with some oils mixed in, and just some oils that I've mixed together. It was originally this Lion Locks oil, but I've just changed it over time because I've ran out of the oil, of course. I'll show you guys what products I use on my locks in another video, but yeah. So, more specifically, under your armpits, I would say that is to prevent chafing. Um, Now, some people have dry skin, and I feel like it's easier for certain parts of your body to chafe, like under your arms, behind your knees, in here. It just depends on how dry your skin is. Luckily, I don't have the driest skin. I mean, I don't have eczema, but my skin can get rather dry. Like, it soaks up the shea butter that I use very well. But I would say it's just to prevent chafing. Um,
Yeah, and I feel like also just to maybe keep like up here warm. Like I don't really think body hair is 100% to keep you warm, but I feel like it does help to trap heat. Like say if you have on a jacket, it's definitely a good place to put your hands if you're really cold like under here. Another thing, your private areas or your genitalia, I feel like for men, well, I know for men, their balls are more specifically a little bit hairy to tickle the vagina or the clitoris when you are having sexual intercourse. And the top part, like the fuzziest or furriest part, is basically just to serve as like a cushioning so you're not just smacking on skin, I guess. Because, I mean, I think after a while that would probably hurt. Yeah, so for women, we have it to also cushion, but also to stimulate each other. Like, I don't know, I think of it kind of like, in Avatar when they connect their thingies. Like, I don't even know what those things are called, but when they connect those, it's like they feel a connection. I feel like your hair also does that when it connects with somebody else. Like, it's basically intertwining into it, and when you're already plugged into somebody, it's like, I think it's basically just enhancing that feeling. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that makes sense, but basically just getting the fullest stimulation you can possibly get. I think the reason we grow hair on our arms and our legs is basically to perceive our environment. I really think there's really much more of a reason than that. Because the hair on our legs is so thin and arms is so thin that I don't really think it should be keeping us warm. Yeah, I mean, some people have really thick hair on their arms and legs, but for somebody like me, I think it's just to help me with knowing if I'm in danger before I actually know myself, or just to know if I'm gonna be around good people. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it helps you to be more aware before you're actually aware. And by that, I mean, like, when you have, like, just from how somebody is looking at you or how their vibe feels before they even get to you, that feeling. That's the feeling I'm talking about. Like, your hair is doing that. It's like, let me get a good read of you. Do 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 do. Yeah, they're not a good person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, basically just knowing what's going on before you really know what's going on.
Let me just get into why I find it to be wrong. And that doesn't mean that you can just never do it ever, but I'm just saying, like, this is why I'm not pressed to get rid of my body hair personally. Personally. Not you, but me. Personally. Okay. So, our hair, our body hair, is all connected to our nervous system. Our nervous system, like our veins, our nerves, all that stuff, like that stuff is all connected to what? Our brain. Our brain is uber important, like super duper important. And I just feel like if this is literally helping us to perceive our environment, why would we want to get rid of it? You know? Now, that's not the only reason why, but that's why we have like these really thin hairs on our arms or on our legs. That helps us to perceive our environment and like on our knuckles. I mean, I used to have hair on my knuckles, but I think it just went away. I mean, it looks like it's a little bit, but it's basically gone. Like, I don't really have any. But hair in places like that for that. Hair on our head, again, to perceive our environment. And you might notice, like, this one, this little guy, he's been sticking up for a while. And I can't say with 100% certainty why sometimes locks stick up or even hair, but I feel like in a way it's trying to charge, because I charge my hair up in the sun. Like I wet it and I charge it in the sun.
We made it to the end of this video. I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you tune into my next one. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye.
I don't give a fuck!